Hello, friends. Hello from cottage living. We are, as you can see, not at home. We are traveling for about a month, and this is where we are. The lake is just behind me, and we're in my sister's cottage right now. The internet is a little choppy, so I hope I stay connected. But if not, we'll try again. So, we are going to be talking about this topic today that I think is maybe a bit controversial. Maybe some people will not agree with whatsoever, but it's totally changed the way I coach nutrition for moms since I have lived this myself. So the topic is why intuitive eating is kind of bullshit for moms, because it really is. That has been my experience the last 2 years postpartum. How I eat has changed revolutionary. How I coach nutrition and eating is completely different since going through this experience myself. I laugh when I think about the things that I used to tell clients before I went through pregnancy and postpartum, and now trying to eat with a toddler around 2 at mealtime. So here's what we're going to be talking about today. Why this idea of intuitive eating can be extra confusing for moms who are trying to figure out how to fuel themselves and eat for pleasure when their meal times are often interrupted or they are not getting set meal times, and then what we might focus on instead. So that's where we're going. If you're on live right now, say hi, let me know that you are here, and if my connection is okay, and let me know if it gets weird throughout as we go. So my name is Jessie Mundell. I am a prenatal and postnatal exercise specialist. I also do some nutrition coaching for moms in my work. But it's very much different than what you might think nutrition coaching looks like. There are no meal plans, there are no calorie counting, there are no macro countings. We talk about some habits, but honestly not even that much anymore, because I think even the idea of habits can be a little bit overwhelming and not, they can make moms not feel super successful when every day is just quite different in how they eat. Hey, Ashley. So that is what I do. I work with moms all over the world, and much of the struggles that they're facing with nutrition are all the same. Hey, Megan, and it doesn't even matter how old their kids are. If you are eating with babies or small kids around, we have a 2-year-old, it makes mealtimes difficult. It just simply does. It makes eating harder, and we have to find some strategies around it to make things feel a bit easier. The good news is we have tons of practice because we eat multiple times a day. Hopefully you're eating multiple times a day. I know there can be days when it's really tricky to even get enough calories in. So we have practice time every single day, which is the nice part of this. If one day goes awry, totally fine. We just try again at the next meal and the next day. Okay, so here's what I think is wrong with intuitive eating. Intuitive eating, I think, is a fantastic concept and something that I think that we can bring pieces into our eating with little kids. And I think it's amazing to teach them these tools too. And hopefully we can get back to it maybe a little bit when meal times are not this crazy rush. But here's what can't often happen when you are a mom and eating with kids around. You often cannot eat slow. You often cannot chew your food slowly. Sometimes you're not even really tasting your food that well. Meal times are often, you're up and down. They're interrupted. You are getting 1,000,001 things from the kitchen and coming back from the table. You're just up and down and you're interrupted. You're not able to eat slow and chew slowly or chew this many times per bite. It's loud, it's not relaxing in the least, so it just can be a difficult experience. My husband and I ate out together at a restaurant a couple weeks ago, and it was so relaxing, and it is just such a noticeable change when you go from eating with a toddler around to not eating with a toddler around. The experience of the meal and the food is so different. So these are just some reasons why meals and eating can be difficult with kids around, small babies. They are so demanding and they need you all the time. You're probably eating one-handed foods and meals and snacks often. The other thing that I find really interesting about this time period too is that sometimes you just have to eat and you have to get calories in even if you're not that hungry, because you are preparing for the rest of the day. So in my experience, I'm kind of getting to a phase where I don't really love or enjoy eating breakfast, but I know that I need to eat breakfast with the toddler in the morning because I'm not going to get a chance to eat in a few hours. The next chance I'm going to get to eat might be 5 hours away when she goes to nap, and at that point I'm going to need to be working. So I have to preempt, and I need to eat, and I need to get calories in because I know it's going to be a long time away to get a solid meal in. And even at that point, when I might be able to get a chance to eat, I don't want to be cooking then, and I'm probably just going to be grabbing for the chocolate chips and the protein bar. So I kind of need to eat that meal now, even if it's not super enjoyable. So changed, so different than what I used to tell clients. It's laughable what nutrition coaching used to look like for me, and some of the things I see now with nutrition coaching and what people are telling moms. It's just very difficult to make work in your life. So here's what I think is helpful, and I'm going to keep this super basic, super short. Eat for comfort, pleasure, and fuel. Those are the only 3 things that I'm interested in and having my clients be interested in. Eating for comfort of your body, of your physical, mental, and emotional health. Eating for pleasure, so things are enjoyable, they taste good most of the time. I know that sometimes we just have to get food in that might not be exactly what we wanted. Totally normal, totally fine. I think that I used to talk a lot about the 1 bite rule. So when things don't taste as good as that first bite, when it's not as pleasurable as that first bite was, then we're done and we stop eating. Sometimes this does not work in mom life. Sometimes you just need to get the calories in because you need to survive the next 2 hours and not get hangry, and you need to be able to keep a level head about you. So pleasure, yes. I would love for all of our food or most of our food to be really delicious, but sometimes even if it's not that good, we might just have to eat it to get through. Last thing, fuel. We absolutely have to be eating to fuel ourselves, to keep up the energy demands that we need, and to be able to keep up with the energy demands of our life and our kids and our babies, if we're nursing, of what the body needs to be giving, of the recovery if we are working out. So those really are the big keys that I think we need to be discussing when we talk nutrition coaching for moms: comfort, pleasure, and fuel. 2 extra tips that I'll talk about, because this is what really helps me in my journey still, and helped me back, say, 5-6 years ago when I was starting to just get more comfortable around food. Number 1, I always think, how is this going to make me feel? That is a guiding post for me. How is this going to make me feel? I think about that during and after the meal. So we might need to get calories in even when we're not that hungry, but I still don't want to be overstuffed. I still don't want to feel bloated or bogged down. I still want my energy to remain high, because I really just don't have time to feel crappy after eating anymore. There's no ability to do that, because we have to be on the best part of our game to be able to keep up with the parenting demands. So how is this going to make me feel? I want this to make me feel light, energetic, and satiated. Second point, something that I often say is, it's just food. So this, I think, is so key for moms, because we do not have time to be spending much mental energy stressing about food, calories, macros. We simply need to often get in, get out. There's not a lot of time to really enjoy the pleasure of food, which is unfortunate. But that's just the reality too. So it's just food. If you're feeling any stress or guilt about what you may have eaten, let's just move on quick. Try again at the next meal, the next snack, try again the next day, and just keep going back to, how is this going to make me feel? I think that if you keep that as your guiding post, trainers and coaches, if you encourage your clients to just keep noticing the sensations in their bodies, and then mentally and emotionally how they're feeling after mealtime, it can be so helpful and really change the way people are experiencing the relationship with food in this crazy, hazy time of eating with little kids. One last tip that I'll give you, something that I try to do, we've changed this a little bit recently, so I might need a new strategy around it soon. But I used to try to eat dinner after our daughter Steele went to bed at night. Now we're starting to eat basically all our meals together as a family at the table. which again, isn't my preference, to be honest with you, but it's good for the family, it's good for the toddler to learn that this is an experience that we want to have together. But if you're not at this stage yet, I liked to eat dinner by myself or with my husband Randy. You can kind of see his head out there on the window. Because it was at least one meal a day that was just in silence and that was peaceful and that was not interrupted. And I could actually more intuitively eat. I could sit down, I could eat slow, I could taste my food. So if you can even get one meal a day like that, if you can get one snack a day like that, where you can really experience the food and tune into the sensations, do that somewhere along the way if you can. Laura says, thank you for keeping it real. Yeah, absolutely. It is, some of the things that moms used to tell me, all are happening, all have happened. So grateful for their lessons because it has been so helpful to me in my coaching. And I think things will just continue to change. I think these early years are just hard and will definitely change the way you eat, and you just kind of have to roll with it as best as possible and not get too caught up in it. Let's just keep moving along. It's just food. Keep feeling good during and after meals, and that is really good enough. Anything else? So 3 things to focus on: comfort, pleasure, fuel. If we can do those as best as possible, then that is good enough. Raina, between the 2 little ones and breastfeeding, I wolf down food. Yeah, friend, you have to. You just have to. There's no other way around it. You have huge energy demands right now. Your body's also still trying to recover from pregnancy, birth, all this stuff. You just have to eat. You just have to get those calories in whenever you can. I cannot even imagine with newborn and toddler how difficult it is. So you're doing great. Whatever you're doing great. Anything else before we wrap up for today? I wish I could take y'all on a tour. Can you kind of see out there? That's the lake right behind us. This is the lake I grew up on from the time I was 4 years old until I went to university. So super big sentimental value. There's Randy out there. Steele is just napping in the room over. So yeah, we love it here. We're here for almost a whole month. Lindsay, I'm watching as I'm eating lunch with my 4-year-old, eating boxed mac and cheese with extra ketchup because that's all she'll eat, and who wants to cook 2 meals? Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, sorry. Lost you there for a second. Yeah, you cannot, no time for short order cooks. Yeah, wine helps. Absolutely. Okay, I think that is everything. I'm going to take a photo just so you can see the setup here that I'm working with to try to keep my phone up that's now failing me. But it's rigged up here pretty nicely on some board games and paper plates. Okay, pals, let me know if you have any more questions on this or any more comments. Love hearing that you are experiencing similar things because it all helps to normalize our lives and experiences. All right, I will talk to you soon.